Never work for this. This is what keeps people poor. This, the rupee, the peso, the yen, the yuan. He says, never work for this. I will say this much. What's more important is ethics and morals.
Okay.
Nothing I do is illegal, unethical, or immoral.
Right.
Those are the three more important than anything else to me. The battle today is between Russia, China, and America. In between is India. The world's coming apart this way right now. We're going to go to war.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a podcast with someone very special. And as you might notice, I don't do a lot of podcasts, but I could not resist an opportunity to talk to this man. So this man is probably the godfather of personal finance in today's modern world. It's none other than Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. Thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to come on my channel. It's an absolute honor to be talking to somebody who actually built my own foundations of learning personal finance. Thank you so much. In today's podcast, I was thinking, let's break it into three parts. The first part, we would cover about the macroeconomic trends that's evolving the world of finance today, because it's very important to understand what's happening on a global picture, to know where our money should go so that it makes the most ROI for us. The second thing I want to talk about is the duality in how the rich think about money versus how the rising middle class think about money. Because I think that mindset about how money works is very, very important before you even invest your money. And the last thing I want to talk about is what should the rising middle class of India, and I mean the 25 to 35 years old, which is what majority of my 2.1 million followers are, what should they be doing as they chart out the rest of their career in terms of controlling the money that they earn instead of the other way around, right? So maybe we can start off with a little bit about you. Most people in India know you as the author of the world famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And maybe we can talk a little bit about what's more behind the scenes of who you are, how you began your journey. We can take right from the beginning, from wherever you think is relevant.
Well, I was a kid who liked money. That's all. I was very curious about it. I went to a rich kid's school, mostly white kids.
Yes.
In Hawaii, they call them howlies. And
call them what?
Howley. That's Hawaiian for white person.
Howdy.
Howley, yeah.
Okay.
And they were rich. And the Asians were poor.
Right.
So I kept wondering, how come one race is rich? Why is one race poor? Same as India. You had all the same white people here who took all the land and resources and all that.
That's right.
And so I smelled a rat, and I thought the rat was school. And I kept asking my teachers, when am I going to learn about money? And they gave me this bullshit. The love of money is the root of all evil. I go, stop bullshitting me, you son of a bitch. But that was their way of preventing me from getting rich.
That's right.
By telling me if I wanted to get rich, I wasn't going to go to heaven. I go, holy mackerel. I'm only 10 years old, I couldn't drink the Kool-Aid. In America, call it the Kool-Aid. I just couldn't drink, go to school and work hard and make the rich richer. So that's how it kind of started. And so I kept asking my poor dad, I said, well, how do I learn about money? He says, I don't know, because he's a professor. And, professors are poor people.
Right.
But they teach kids. That's stupid, So I said, why don't you ask your best friend's father? I said, who's that? He says, Mike. I said, why should I ask Mike, father? He's going to be a rich man. I said, why is he going to be a rich man? So my poor dad said, Mike's father is an entrepreneur. And I said, so what are you? I'm only 10 years old, right? He says, I'm an employee. I said,
right.
So what's the difference between entrepreneur and employee? And my poor dad said, well, an entrepreneur has to know about money. I said, yeah. And what about an employee like you? He says, I have a job. And then I started to hear it. Go to school, get a job, get a job. I'm going, school's lying to me. And I said, I don't want a job. And that's how the whole thing started. So when I was 10, I just started studying with my rich dad. And so I was 10 years old, I ride my bicycle to his office. And I had to work for him for free. So he ran a hotel.
Right.
And I had to pick up rubbish and work, doing odd jobs. And rich dad never paid me. He said, if I pay you, you think like an employee. Because my dad works for money. He says, yeah, but that's why your dad's poor. He says, never work for this. This is what keeps people poor. This, the rupee, the peso, the yen, the yuan. He says, never work for this. And so that's kind of where the whole thing started. But being 10 years old, I was more confused now. So I had to work for Rich Dad, and finally I started to understand things. Like I'd work for free. He'd play Monopoly with me. So I'm going, why am I playing Monopoly? He says, because you're learning to be rich. I said, I'm playing Monopoly, so you learn to be rich. And so I played Monopoly and got home. My poor dad said, what you been doing all day? You been studying? I said, no, I've been playing Monopoly. Oh, what a waste of time. Do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you don't get good grades, you won't get a good job.
Right.
So I'm going, I'm so confused. And then one day I asked my rich dad, I said, why am I playing Monopoly? He goes, see all those properties out there? Said, that's my real green houses. I said, what? He says, those, I play Monopoly for real, in real life. I go, you do what? He said, I play Monopoly in real life. Because he never went to school either.
Right.
He played Monopoly.
So basically the idea from Monopoly is that the way to win Monopoly is to make as many houses as possible and then give it out for release.
You got it wrong.
Then what is the idea here?
The idea of Monopoly is to trade up from green houses to red hotels using debt.
Right.
Everything is opposite of what those school teachers will teach you. So my poor dad always says, stay out of debt. My rich dad said, use debt. You see, everything is opposite. And that's why most school teachers, I don't listen to them. If you tell me you went to Harvard or Yale, I check out. Look at the biggest crooks in America, all professors. This guy, Ben Bernanke, he was the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank chief. He ripped off this whole country.
Yes.
And he's a PhD from Princeton. Okay. So that's...
He was one of the key players behind the 2008 financial crisis as to what happened, right?
He was the bailout guy.
Right.
He not only bailed out the rich, he bailed out many European and Asian countries.
Right.
They bail out the rich.
That's right.
They let the poor and middle class die.
Right.
I don't trust college professors. They're poor people with a degree. Big deal.
So it's interesting that you touched upon what happens in the world order. So since the last financial crisis to what we are seeing currently, do you see any changes that's happening in the world order? Do you see a crash coming anytime soon? What are your thoughts on the macro picture of what's happening in the world?
Very good question. Yeah. We're in the biggest change in world history now. Like this is August 2023. They just had the BRICS meeting in South Africa. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa.
Right.
So it is the split between the West and the East. So the West has approximately 1.2 billion people using the dollar.
Right.
Brazil and Russia, Russia and China have control of about 3.8 billion. So the fight now is between East and West.
When you mean West, 1.2 billion people, is that North America and Europe?
Generally, yeah.
Okay, so that totally is 1.2 billion.
Approximately, yes.
Got it.
The point here is this. The reason I'm happy to be here in India, BRI, India's in the middle.
Right.
China, South Africa. So the problem is your school systems are Marxist. Most school teachers are Marxist.
Can you explain what Marxist is to
They believe in taxation.
Sorry?
They believe in taxation.
Okay.
I don't pay taxes.
Okay.
Capitalists don't pay taxes.
Right.
Okay. We also use debt.
Right.
And we don't pay for we don't do any of those things. This is my friend here, Donald Trump.
Yeah,
He's a capitalist.
right.
People hate this guy, but he is my good friend. We are capitalists. We're not Marxists. Obama, Marxist.
Okay.
And this guy, Biden, he's stupid. Most stupid president we've ever had.
Wow.
He's caused America, Biden has done more damage to the world than any other president in history.
Okay.
And he is Obama's surrogate. I mean, Obama's still in office through Biden.
Okay.
So what was Biden's first act? Do you know?
No, can you please explain that?
He took off the Keystone Pipeline between Canada and America. Under Trump, he's a good friend of mine. We were selling oil.
Okay.
I own oil wells just like Mr. Tata.
Okay.
We own oil wells in Texas, Louisiana, North Dakota.
Okay.
So I was selling oil in Trump for $30 US a barrel. Biden came to office, oil went from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel. I knew immediately what that communist was doing. He was making oil so expensive, it would wipe out the middle class. So today in America, I see the poor middle class people, they're pumping gas, they cannot feed their kids and all this. And Biden then says, well, it's Putin's fault.
Okay.
What? And Americans are so stupid, they believe them. But Biden, as I said, is just Obama's third term
Okay.
as president, okay? And you look at all that, I'm going, holy moly. So India is right in between all this right now. So the big shift, I'm not taking sides, it's Russia, China versus America, Europe. And so basically it's, if they go to gold, American dollar's gone.
If who goes to gold?
If they shift to the China, I don't think they will. The Chinese are threatening to shift the yuan to gold.
Okay. Pegging it to gold.
Yeah. And if they do that, US dollar collapses.
Right.
This is trash.
Right.
If that happens, America goes.
Right. I mean, the kind of printing that they've been doing over the last 1 or 2 years of excessive cash into the economy, what do you think is going to happen if they continue doing this in terms of the inflation?
Well, there'll be hyperinflation, and
Yeah.
then unfortunately war.
Okay.
Every time, this is why I'm happy to be in India. You guys just put a man on the moon.
Right.
The other thing good about India is your people are very peaceful people.
Right.
I come here, I feel like the most obnoxious man on planet Earth, You Indians are so kind, so nice, so patient. I'm like, I get this.
And there are thousands of sub-communities within India.
Very
And
kind.
somehow we just work together
Yeah.
all in one place.
So you put a spaceship on the moon and all this, and BRICS.
Right.
You're in between. So just be careful. Be careful whose money you use, either the dollar or the yuan. So that's why I've been saying it's commodities, silver and gold.
Right.
This today is about $35 US.
Okay.
Okay, that's a lot of money here in India.
$35 or
This is $35 US.
$35?
This is about 2,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that real?
No, they're fake.
Okay.
This is real.
The silver.
But anyway, so being a capitalist, I own gold mines
Okay.
and I own silver mines.
Okay.
So when the dollar crashes, I get richer.
Right. And that happens time and time again.
That's going to happen now.
When do you think it will happen?
It's happening right now. America is sliding into a depression right now. What I said, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. But it's Russia, China versus America right now. It's the biggest battle in history going on today. And the dollar is going to lose. So if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I said, I don't work for money. I work for gold and silver. I do not save dollars.
Okay.
I use debt to buy real estate.
Right.
I pay no taxes legally,
Yeah.
and I save gold and silver. And since I was a little boy, I've been saving so much gold and silver, I now own the richest gold mine in America.
Which is?
It's called the Trixie, but it's on the New York Stock Exchange.
Okay.
It's OCD, gold
Okay.
sign.
Okay.
So I only work for real money, which is gold and silver.
So that's a great question because I actually wanted to understand because there are so many asset classes that are available to the retail investor today. Be it as simple as just having cash, like you pointed out. Then there is commodities like gold and silver. Then there is the stock market, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate, cryptocurrencies. So many options. So I get asked this question a lot: where do I put most of my money? So, according to you, which asset class is the which you're most bullish on in the coming decade or few decades?
Well, that's a good question, but the most important asset you have is this.
Right, the
You know,
mind.
the space between this year and this year. And the thing that I'm happy about is young men like you, young women too, have podcasts. There's some very smart people on podcasts now. Better than listening to a stupid college professor
Right,
who doesn't know anything about money. Why would you listen to a poor dad like my father?
right,
Stupid. So on the podcast today, there's some very smart young people coming up. Like I fly from here to Singapore and I meet Jim Rogers. Jim Rogers is one of the smartest investors in the world.
okay,
Most people don't know who he is. He's an American who lives in Singapore.
Okay.
That should tell you something. He probably killed me for saying he's a good friend of mine. His partner was George Soros. Soros is the biggest communist going.
right.
So it's money and power and politics. Nothing changes.
So he's the one who was famous for making $1 billion in like one day through a crazy kind of a maneuver.
They crushed the Bank of England.
Right.
Two young guys,
Yeah.
smartest guys I know. So my lesson to all young Indians, it's good that Indians are very smart people. My doctors in the States are all Indians. They're very smart people.
Not just that. I think now the results are out that among all the top CEOs of the world, I think almost 40-50% are Indians.
Oh, is that
Global
right?
companies, yes.
Good. So it's naturally inside your genetics, your race,
Right.
as compared to other races, which I won't say, Some races aren't that smart,
Okay.
which makes me a racist.
Okay.
Japanese aren't that smart.
Really?
No.
I mean, they are the like pioneers of robotics. I always thought that they're like super smart people. I mean, they look smart as well. They work ethics, hardworking people. Okay.
Biggest debtor nation, the only country bigger in debt than America is Japan.
Okay.
But the thing is what people are doing is they're playing games with this stuff. Where do you think I borrow my money from?
From the bank.
Japan.
Okay.
Japan are stupid people. They save money.
Right.
I'm an American. I use debt. I borrow their savings.
I heard that the savings rate interest in Japan is negative to motivate people to put in the market. Is that true?
No, Japanese are the highest per capita savings rate in the world.
Right.
Japanese believe in saving money. They're good people,
Yeah.
but not very smart financially.
Right.
Toyotas, Hondas, okay,
Right. So in a country like India, right now, if you see the teenagers, 15 to 20-year-old teenagers, what we've been told by our parents is to focus on, becoming a doctor or an engineer because that's like the safest route to, securing your life in a country like India. But what baffles me is that there are so many examples of people who made a lot of money. Let's say even if you're a high earning person in India, which is about, let's say, $30,000-$40,000 a year, versus, let's say, somebody who has won a lottery in India. All of them eventually end up in becoming broke. So I'll give you an example. So there's this popular show called Kaun Banega Crorepati in India, which means it's a ripoff of who will be a millionaire, which is there in US. So they get asked questions and they win. I think a staggering more than half of the people who made like $1 million on that show are broke today. So what baffles me is that we are only taught how to make money, but the schools never teach us how to manage that money. Like, why do you think that's the situation across the world? Even in a prosperous country like US, that is the situation. So why is that happening and are things changing?
Well, the statistics show. So let's say you have a man. He becomes an entrepreneur. He makes a lot of money.
Okay.
The second generation, he teaches it to his kids. So the second generation, they enjoy the money.
Right.
The money's gone by the third generation. Disappears.
Is that
Because
like
they don't
cyclical
pass
everything?
on knowledge. They pass on money. I meet so many people today, I can tell they're either second or third generation.
Right.
They're really pretty. They got their Gucci clothes on, got the cars and all this.
Second generation.
Second generation, but nothing up here.
Right.
Too easy. So look at this here. I wrote this book here. It says, Who Stole My Pension? See, America today is what floats the stock market in America are pensions. Same as here. Okay. And Wall Street steals the pensions.
So can you explain that? How does the pension system floats the stock market in our
Well, where does the
countries?
money come from? So all these people who go to school to get a job and they save money and they invest in the stock market, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I don't touch any of that stuff. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I don't have to.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur. Employees have to save money, get out of debt, buy a house,
Right.
and invest in the stock market. My poor dad. I'm an entrepreneur. I buy the gold mine. I get the gold.
Right.
Most employees cannot buy the gold mine.
Right.
I buy the silver mine. I buy the real estate. I buy the hotels.
Right.
I am a capitalist. I am an entrepreneur.
So why aren't these learnings taught to us in schools? Like, why are they skipping this topic? Why do you think that?
Because they're run by college professionals like my poor dad.
They don't think it's important.
No. They have a job. What's valuable to you? Okay. Like I talk to my friends. Some of my friends want kids.
Right.
Some people don't want kids. Okay? So if you want kids, have kids. You don't want kids, don't have kids. You want to be rich, don't be an employee.
Okay.
You want to be rich, be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But it's a choice.
Right.
So this is the biggest problem. America is going to be the poorest country in the world starting now. You're going to see the biggest crashes happening right now. So that's good for me because the price of gold and silver go up.
That's interesting because most people in India until the last decade have been migrating to the US, thinking that that is where is the land of opportunity to pursue the great American dream. But over the last 2 years, we've seen an increasing number of people coming back in droves back to India because that's where they're seeing the opportunity. So that is a very interesting shift that I never thought would happen so quickly in my lifetime. Right. So
You're a very smart young man.
yeah.
You see what happens is every place I go, I travel the world since I was a kid.
Yes.
I always go to the slums. So this time I went to the slums of Mumbai. And I'm looking at talking to people, like. But what shocks most people is America never had slums like that. Today, slums are everywhere across America.
Really?
One of my best pieces of real estate is in Portland, Oregon, because they're run by communists here. Most school teachers are communists. This is the Communist Manifesto by Marx. They don't know it. They're good people, but they're doing the right thing, they think. So in Portland, Oregon, I bought this huge apartment house.
Okay.
And my friends and I converted it to condominiums. And we thought we made a fortune. We did. But we couldn't get people in there because the government of Oregon allowed homeless people to build houses all around our property. So the tenants couldn't drive onto the property. Then San Francisco went down. Washington went down. New York is going down. The slums of Mumbai are spreading across America.
Wow.
You should go look at it. San Francisco used to be the most beautiful city in America, in my opinion. I worked in San Francisco and all that. Now you don't walk in the streets because it's like the slums of Mumbai.
I'll tell you one more interesting thing that's happening in India. So the builders are trying their best to clear out the slums. So what they're telling them is, I have built an apartment for you close by. Vacate your slums and stay there while I make another building over here so that you can occupy it later. But what these guys are actually doing, they got that apartment for free and they're giving it out for rent to somebody else and continuing to live in the slums. So that's an interesting development that's happening in the Mumbai slums.
Same thing happened in China.
Right.
The Chinese developers would go in and build those high rises, never finish them, steal the money and run. So China's in serious trouble right now financially too.
Interesting. So now that we're seeing that so many problems are happening in the formal world's economy, do you think crypto will be back? Because I've read one of your articles where you mentioned that if the world crashes again, if we have another economic crisis, the price of Bitcoin would go to $1 million. So do you see that happening anytime soon?
It could. Yeah, I own Bitcoin. I don't have that many. I only have 60.
Okay. How many Bitcoins do you own, if you can share?
Huh?
How many Bitcoins do you own?
I just told you 60.
60 Bitcoins.
Yeah, not many.
That's a lot, but okay.
But I bought. I'm not very good technology wise, but I do take investment courses.
Okay.
So I was watching Bitcoin do this.
Right.
So it went up, down, up, down, up. This is 2009, right?
Right.
You hit 20,000.
So you've been monitoring since 2009, Bitcoin? Yeah. Okay.
That's what investors do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not stupid people like
Right.
school teachers. It hit 20,000, crashed to 1.
Yeah.
I said, and I waited. And then it hit 6. So I bought 60 for 6,000.
Okay.
So it's about 1.5 now, not much.
So how did you know at that point of time when that crash happened to 6,000 that you need to buy more? Like what made you so confident that Bitcoin will go up again?
Because I take investment courses.
Okay.
It's called fundamental investing and technical trading.
Okay.
Technical, most investors are technical. They're watching the market go up and down, up and down, up and down.
Right.
So they use options, they use shorts, all this other. Warren Buffett is not technical. Warren Buffett is fundamental.
Correct.
George Soros is technical. So you got to know what kind of investor you are. It's all financial education. So I just take all these courses. I watched it. It hit 60, took it out.
Okay.
And
When
I
it hit $60,000, you took it out?
and I just bought 60.
Okay.
You don't have to be greedy. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. But did you cash out when the boom happened
I
again?
never sold.
You never sold.
I never sell.
Got it.
I only buy.
So you're still bullish on it going above than what it is currently.
Well, I'm kind of worried about it. I was given this my very precious gift here. A young woman, from here,
Okay.
gave me this gift here. I just love this. It's it's Rich Dad Poor Dad with Bitcoin on it.
Wow. Nice.
The reason this is important is a very simple reason. Is this is fake. Everybody who works for dollars, yen, pesos, rupee, this is fake. Stupid people work for this stuff. Okay,
I mean, that's what we get, but then don't keep it like that. Put it somewhere else.
well, it's fake.
Yeah.
So when she gave me this, I was happy because I like Bitcoin because Bitcoin is blockchain.
Right.
It holds its integrity, it holds its shape. So I was very honored to take this. The problem with Bitcoin, this is my warning to all the crypto guys. You messing with the federal government.
That's what I was going to get to, like how it will be.
Yeah, so America just this year already said they're going to come out with a CBDC, with central bank digital currency. You guys know more about tech than I ever will.
Even India has come up with
Yeah.
something of that sort.
The moment they go to CBDC, this, I'm not saying may drop. See, because they're going to put this thing out of business. So you got to be very, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I still stay with, God, this thing is really a pain.
But it would still depend on adoption, right?
This is God's money.
Okay.
Bitcoin's people's money.
Okay.
This is fake money.
Okay.
And you guys all been taught to work for this garbage.
Yeah.
This is toilet paper. Wipe my ass with.
But the problem started, like, I mean, for the longest time, that paper money was pegged to dollar, the gold and
Yes,
silver.
yes, yes,
Until
yes.
then, it was fine. But then once they made it fiat, and when they could just print how much ever they want, that's when the problem started, is what you're saying.
Yes, this is fake. And the reason I showed you this is this has started. In 1971, Nixon, this is macro,
Okay.
Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard.
Yeah.
So 71, a dollar became fake. Then it became the petrodollar.
What dollar?
Petro,
Petrol.
gold, oil dollar.
Okay.
I'm an oil man. I don't even know that. I own oil wells.
Right.
I don't own oil stocks.
Huh.
I like the black stuff. You know?
Okay.
So Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. This became fake but the economy boomed. Real estate boomed.
Yeah.
Because they were printing this as fast as they wanted to.
Right.
Every time America got into trouble, they printed this.
Can you briefly explain what happens when the government prints a lot of money? Who does it impact and how?
Well, there's inflation.
Right.
So right now, in America, I'm sure it's here too, many people can't afford to eat anymore.
It has become expensive.
Yeah, the homeless people in America, some of them are drugs, obviously. A lot of them just can't afford a house.
Right. Same
So-
is the situation in
Yeah,
India.
because this is toilet paper. And our school teachers will never tell us this because the school teachers are Marxists. They're good people.
Can you tell briefly what a Marxist means?
Taxes.
Basically, taking money from everybody to equitably distribute
And they
wealth.
tax it.
Right.
I don't pay taxes.
So,
So a capitalist knows how to use debt
right.
and pay no taxes because, hear me out,
Yeah.
this dollar is a function of debt. The only way this comes into existence is somebody has to borrow money. This does not exist. This is debt after 1971. So in 1974, it became the petrodollar. So I made a lot of money in oil. I worked for Standard Oil for a while.
Right.
And then what happened is the economy kept increasing and all this. Then they started pumping all the money into the baby boom generation, into their pensions. These pensions were stolen by Wall Street. It's empty. So you watch in the next few years, you're going to hear more and more from the States. Our pensions are empty. But not what else happened was because my age, baby boomers, were pumping so much money into pensions, the stock market blew up.
Okay.
The stock market blew up. Housing prices blew up. Bond market blew up.
Right.
Now it's all going to come down. That's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
Okay. So this has been happening for decades now.
I've been studying this for most of my life.
Okay.
Since I was 10 years old. I said, how come I don't have some of this? How come the school teacher doesn't teach me about this?
Right.
Why does my dad always say, go to school, get a job, work hard, pay taxes, save money?
Right.
Why do that?
True.
And my rich dad says, I don't do that.
So I had an interesting question here, looking at it from the lens of the government.
Your questions are very good, by the way.
Thank you. So there are two schools of thought, right? One way to look at as a person who is running the country is to ensure the maximum happiness of all the individuals, so equitable distribution of wealth. And the other way of looking at it is, no, not everybody is equal, winner takes it all. And what we've seen over the last decade is that the income inequality has magnified. I saw an interesting stat that around 50 years back, the top 1% of the world controlled around 6 to 7% of the world's wealth.
Amen.
And today, the top 1% of the world controls around 20 to 25% of the world's wealth. So my question to you is that sustainable, or would that, if that income disparity keeps increasing, would the world eventually collapse due to war?
It's always been that way. There's a thing called Pareto's principle. It's called the 80-20 rule.
Right.
So like 80% of the people are poor, 20% are rich.
Right.
There's another rule, I don't know the name, it's a 90-10. In America, 10% of Americans own everything. The reason there's such a gap is our schools teach us to work for this.
Yeah.
Go to school, get a job,
Right.
work hard, pay taxes,
Yeah.
save money, buy a house, and put your money in the stock market.
Right.
I don't touch any of that. I'm an entrepreneur. I'd rather be like Mr. Tata,
Right.
who owns the stock market.
So you touched upon an important topic, buying a house. And that is a very, very important discussion according to me. And whenever I talk about it, there is always people who disagree with it, right? Because it is so ingrained in our mind that buying a house is the American dream when it comes to US.
Yes.
And in India, it's like buying a house means your life is sorted or life is set. But I differ from that because I feel like if you prioritize of buying a house which you live in very early on in your life, because in India you can't get married if you don't own your own house,
Right.
because the bride's family will ask for that. Okay, does he own a house? And because of that pressure, young Indian males are buying a house in their mid-20s and getting into 20 to 30 year home loans which kind of gets them bonded to working 9 to 5 jobs for the next 20, 30 years, which they can't take any risk.
You got it.
So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts about buying a home? Because it's very difficult to convince Indians. And I get a lot of lashback when I say that, don't buy a house, delay that purchase, focus on building assets which pay you more money. But people disagree.
I face the same thing because I own 15,000 houses.
15,000 houses. Okay. Which you give it out for rent.
Yeah.
Right.
So nothing wrong with buying a house.
Yeah.
Difference is I use debt to buy it.
Okay.
And I pay no taxes. It's not the house. It's not the stock. It's not the bond. It's not the ETF. It's your brains. So I would rather use debt and pay no taxes.
Can you explain that? How do you buy houses without...
Which is capitalism.
Right.
We use debt and we pay no taxes. That's what I teach.
Can you explain the mechanics of that in simple words for the audience? Like, how do you...
In 1971, this became debt.
Okay.
The only way it's created is somebody has to borrow money. So in your credit card, there's no money in your credit card.
Right.
There's no money anywhere. So the moment you use your credit card, money is created. Okay. And the US dollar is debt, the rupee is debt, the yuan is debt, the peso, the yen is debt. They need people to borrow money. So when I go to a bank and I say, I want to borrow $20 million, I get huge tax breaks because I'm creating money. But if I use my credit card, I get nothing. Okay, it's up here. Your greatest assets between this year and this year, this year. So that's why I have the cash flow board game. There's not too many here. The board game was designed to teach you to think like a capitalist. Cash flow.
Okay.
And so I wrote a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, same thing. It's all about accounting.
Right. So interesting point, because to be able to do what you just said, that you need to borrow debt, buy homes, and then give it out for rent.
But you got to have it in your head first.
Right. No, but
don't go stupid and running out there.
Right. So, but in a country like India, there's a challenge around this because the rental yield is way lower than the cost of borrowing. So in US, it's the opposite, right? Like the rental yield,
I don't know. Every city in America is different.
Right.
All the laws are different. So the first thing I would do is I'd come here, I'd hire an accountant and attorney,
Okay.
and then I would evaluate your markets.
Right.
And then I would buy or not buy.
Right.
Like I don't own any property in California
Right.
because it's a communist state. I own nothing in New York City, communist. Okay, but I own in Arizona and Texas. The laws are different, so you have to know the laws. You can't be stupid.
Right. Right. So most people make that mistake. They're like, I have so many people coming up to me, hey, I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it says you have to buy houses and give it for rent. But in India,
I didn't say that. I said your house is not an asset.
Right, house is not an asset. Yeah.
And when you miss, it's called financial literacy.
Right.
What is the definition of the word? If it puts money in my pocket, it's an asset.
Correct.
If my house is taking money from my pocket, it's a liability.
Yes.
Has nothing to do with real estate.
Right. Correct. So yeah, for most people confuse that with saying I'll buy the house and I'll only live in it. And that doesn't
Liability.
That becomes a liability. And most people have a very hard time digesting that. Right.
Because they don't go one more house beyond it,
Yes, they cannot. I mean, it's more.
They think like poor middle class peasants.
They spend 30 years to buy that one house.
Yeah.
How will they afford the next house? Right? Then they have to worry about their retirement, their kids' education, their kids' marriage, their kids' house. So it's no way winning that game.
It takes. Everybody wants the easy answer.
Right.
They want to win the lottery.
Right.
They want to be a soccer star.
Yeah.
They want to be a Bollywood star.
Yeah.
And as you said already, they're broke in 10 years.
Right. So now I want to go a little bit from a philosophical point of view, right? So we've just been talking about money this, money that, how to get rich. But I feel the three pillars of a happy life is money, health, and relationships. I wanted to ask you, someone who has almost lived 80 years on this planet, how would you rank them?
What?
The three pillars of life, money, health, relationship. How would you rank them in terms of importance for a happy life?
Why do you have to rank them?
So that people know what to prioritize.
They're all important.
But if you had to rank them?
Money.
Money first.
If I can handle money, the rest is easy.
Right.
In America, they say no money, no honey.
But what about health?
Huh?
Health.
Health is expensive.
Yeah. So
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. So money comes first, and then health, and then
If I was to make a choice, if I got the money handled, I'd get the rest handled. But if I'm poor, no money, no honey, no wife, no health,
that's right.
unhappiness. I fly all over the world. I have my own private jet. I'm a lot happier. I stand in line at Mumbai airport. I'm not happy. You know what I mean? I have a Lear 60. I just climb on, gone.
So what is that?
Lear 60 is a jet, private jets. Okay. Yeah, I'm buying a G4 next, Gulfstream 4.
So it
You
comes.
see, when you have money, you can buy what you want.
Yeah.
I will say this much. What's more important is ethics and morals.
Okay.
Nothing I do is illegal, unethical, or immoral.
Right.
Those are the three more important than anything else to me. Like I've had people cheat me, steal my money, partners and all this. That's illegal, unethical, immoral. That
Right.
to me is more important than money.
Right.
I don't have to lie, cheat, or steal to make my money.
True. Interesting. So I also heard that that interesting topic where you said that the rich don't pay taxes and they use debt. I read the story about how Elon Musk
Right.
uses
You
his
use debt and not pay taxes.
yes
Because this is debt.
right.
This is
So
debt.
he raises debt with his stock options, and then he uses that money for his expenditure.
Correct.
That's how he does.
Well, Elon Musk also used tax breaks.
Can you explain how the rich use tax breaks?
That's beyond me. I wrote a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant, ESBI.
Okay.
E stands for employee. Go to school, get a job. Teachers. S stands for smart people, doctor, lawyer. Oh, become a doctor, become a doctor.
Right.
Employees pay 40% in taxes in India. S's pay 60%. You have B stands for big business, 20% tax. I stands for insider. I only invest from the inside. I don't invest from outside, legally.
Okay.
So Elon Musk is a B and an I. I'm a B and an I. 500 employees, and I put the deals together. So I put my gold mine, guess how much money it made? Yeah, my gold mine in India. Guess how much money I got in it?
How much? 0.
Because I'm an insider. I put the deal together. I'm an entrepreneur. B and I. Musk is a B and an I. Steve Jobs was E, B, and I. Tata, big B and I. It's a mindset.
So can you?
That's the book called The Cash Flow Quadrant. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant's your next.
Got it.
And if you're so inclined, get a cash flow game and play the game and learning how cash flows. It's all cash flow.
Okay. Interesting. So what does that insider mean? Like what exactly do they do?
I put the deal together. I don't,
But how do you make money out of that if you put the deal
are you
together?
shitting me?
Like how do you like capture
Oh, you
value?
really don't know, do you?
I don't know. Please tell me.
I think Mr. Tata makes his money. Washing dishes?
No?
Of course not. He puts deals together. Somebody brings him a deal. You put the management team in place, you put the financing in place, and you get it to work. I'm doing this. I do it all day long. I put businesses together that produce money.
And they don't require much of your time because the systems are set in place.
No, you have to hire people with MBAs. I hire stupid employees with MBAs.
Okay. Interesting.
People who want a paycheck, I give them all the paycheck they want. I create businesses. I create real estate. That's all my friends do.
So like how many businesses do you own today?
Quite a few. I really don't know anymore.
Okay.
I start one and I move off. Start one, move off. Same as Tata. I mean, I see his Tata on his trucks and all that stuff.
Right.
Do you think he's out there hammering Tata on his truck?
Right.
Same thing.
So like what do you think somebody who is, let's say I go back in time, not go back in time, let's say that you're a 20-year-old person today starting from 0, right? How would you chart out the next 10 years of your life? This will be very important for the audience here because they are mostly in that state in their life where they're in their early 20s and just about to start. How can they become you in today's world?
You got to study, man. You've got to study.
Okay.
I studied. You can ask my friends. I study constantly.
You study constantly?
Constantly.
Like every day?
I'm on you every day, all day.
Okay.
I'm reading books, studying this. I'm talk to my friends and all this.
Okay.
I'm not looking for a job. I'm not working for money. That's why the one book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Second book is Cash Flow Quadrant.
Right.
Third book is Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. I put it all in there. You can read that. Then I created the cash flow board game.
Okay.
And if you play the cash flow board game, the reason it's better than going to school, it's about a financial statement.
Okay.
You see, my bankers never once asked me what my grades were. My bankers never asked me what college I went to. My banker wants to see my financial statement. My financial statement is my report card.
Right.
When I grow up.
That's right.
Most college professors never grow up. They're little kids yet. I got a PhD. I got a PhD. I got a PhD.
Yeah.
I got a financial statement. So what happened in 2008, when the markets crashed, I borrowed $300 million.
Okay.
You know why? Because all the real estate had crashed.
Okay.
So we took my financial statement and showed it to the banks. So how much money do you want? Tax-free money. We bought almost $1 billion worth of real estate because it crashed. So when I tell people the market's crashing, I get excited
Right.
because everything goes on sale. You know, that's like Ferrari saying we put our cars at half price. Oh, no, I don't want to pay half price for a Ferrari. That's how stupid people are. You know, they get a soccer player, make millions of dollars, and they want to pay full price for a Ferrari.
That's right.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. Poor man with nice car. You gotta feed this.
Right. And how do you feed that? Like, what are
I
your
just told
sources
you.
of knowledge?
Study.
Like,
And I hang out. How many friends are billionaires in your name?
how many friends?
How many billionaire friends do you have?
I have like 2.
They're billionaires,
Yeah.
US dollars.
Yes.
Well, then hang out with them.
I do that now. That's just started about 6 months back.
Yeah. Not all my friends, but most of my friends are billionaires. One started a school system in America. He sold his business for $1.1 billion. Another friend's a real estate guy. He sold it for $2 billion. But we're all capitalists. We're capitalists. We're not economists. We're not professors. We don't have college degrees. Most of my friends don't have college degrees.
Right. It's just an understanding of how money works and how to leverage it. No?
It's like I'd never play soccer.
Okay.
I'm a rugby player. You got to find the game you want to play.
Okay.
Soccer is too. Rugby players.
Right. So what are those games?
You got to find the game you want to play.
So what are the games that you're playing currently, which you like?
Entrepreneurship.
That's like one, right? Like within that, there are multiple facets.
That's all there is to me. I'm a capitalist.
So you'll venture into anything that you find is a opportunity.
I'm a capitalist. There's opportunities all over the place. I was standing on stage, I said, a kid could be standing in the slums of Mumbai with a cell phone,
Yeah.
become a billionaire, if it was in his head first. You see, that cell phone gives you power all over the world. I've never seen a more powerful tool.
That's right. The barriers to entry.
But
have
if your
lowered.
brain is stupid or poor, if your brain is poor, your cell phone is poor. Your job is to educate yourself, because schools are not going to do that for you.
That's right. So apart from financial literacy, you also talk about a lot of other skills that
Who are your
young
friends?
person
Who
should
the
develop.
fuck are your friends, man? You hang out with poor people?
Okay, so friend circle is important.
Yeah.
Apart from that, got it.
Who do you hang out with?
Like, how do you?
I don't hang out with my family because they're school teachers.
Like, for the audience here, they would
We
all
give each
want
other
to,
Christmas presents. That's about it.
So the audience here wants to go and hang out with billionaires, but how do you begin that journey? Like, I can't just walk up to a billionaire's house and say, "Can you be my friend?" So how would you start that journey if you had to start from zero?
You got to feed your brain, man.
Right.
It's in your heart. How strong are you? And your game. I don't mind soccer. I just don't play the game.
Right.
I don't play tennis because it's not my game.
Right.
I play rugby because I hit people.
Right.
I like that game. Some people shouldn't play rugby. They should play soccer. You can be a billionaire playing soccer.
Right. So choose your game which you want to play.
And mine is capitalist. That's his book here. I wrote this book here, The Capitalist Manifesto, because our schools are communists. Your schools, my schools. This is my friend. You want proof? There's my friend. Okay.
Right.
And my friends, even when we were poor, we worked together, we talked together, we teach each other, we started business together. We don't hang out with poor people.
So that's interesting.
I don't hang out with my family. I love them and all this.
Right.
I don't, go, hi, how are you doing? I got a new job. I go, good. I got another master's degree. I said, good. And they call me Bobby. Bobby, how many college degrees do you have? I said, zero. How much money you got? Zero. It's all up here. It's all in here. Choose freedom.
Right.
You live in a free. I'll say this again. India is in the best political. Right now, the battle between Russia, China, and America. And you have a cell phone. You guys are smart technology-wise.
Right.
If you can't get rich, it's your fault. But you got to take your brain. If you want to go back to school, get your MBA, and work for Mr. Tata, good life. I don't want to do that.
But do you think it's worthy?
I don't want to do that. What do you want to do? Would Mr. Tata offered you $10 million a year, would you take the job? Of course you would.
Yeah, most people.
I wouldn't take it.
Yeah. No, but would you say there is merit in terms of getting that hands-on experience without any risk in the beginning? So what people think in their head is that I'll do an MBA degree, I'll work for somebody for 3-4 years, learn that experience, and then start something of my own. But what happens is usually they don't start because they get sucked into it.
Yeah.
Right. But do you think that's a good path for people, or they should not even bother?
What I know.
Okay.
You talk. I flunked out of school, man. Nothing wrong getting an MBA, work for Mr. Tata, having a house, having 3 kids, go to private school, take 1 vacation a year.
Yeah.
I'd rather own the jet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah.
Do you understand? It's just what do you want? What do you guys want? That's the question. But unfortunately, our schools program us, go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay taxes, buy a house, and invest in the stock market.
That's exciting because
I don't do any of that.
So that is very interesting because the vast majority of the people are actually working for 3 people. One is the government by paying taxes.
Everybody
and you
does.
mentioned this. The second thing is you work for the bank because you take loans to buy your car and house.
Correct.
And the third one is you work for your boss because you work in a company. And the more harder you work there, you're just making your boss richer. So you're only working for 3 people and they're sucking out most of your money. That's how for the vast majority.
But they also give you money.
Yeah, they give you money as well, of course.
See, it's not the 3 people. It's you the problem. The person is the problem.
Right.
I'm responsible. I can't blame my poor dad. I can't blame my mother. You know, my brother likes being poor. My sister's a nun. I don't look good as a nun. You know, I don't drive Toyotas. I drive Ferraris. What do you want?
So let's say now.
Wait. You can't hear a word I'm saying. The do you want, man?
Okay.
What do you want?
Me, I want financial independence, financial freedom.
That's easy, man. Just be homeless. You're free.
Okay. So what is the right, what do I want question? Answer to the question.
I want to buy a gold mine.
Okay.
Go buy a gold mine. Do you know how to do it?
I don't know how to do that.
Then you better study.
Right.
Find somebody who bought one. I studied for about 10 years how to buy gold mines. I was traveling in Vancouver, British Columbia. There's a show called the VRIC, Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. And I go to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I studied with all these guys who own gold mines.
Okay.
And I went looking for gold mines. I found one. I found a gold mine this is in 2004. I found a gold mine in Dalian, China. See, I don't think you could do it. I bought it.
It's not that simple. If it's there, I just buy it. It's not that simple. There's a lot of loopholes you have to go
Because
through.
I know how to raise capital.
Okay.
I studied how to raise capital. I go to Vancouver. I study with guys who raise capital. I think you hang out with employees. I have friends who are employees, but my friends are capitalists. Please hear what I'm saying. It's a different mindset. Like a soccer player is different than a rugby player. Okay, they're both good people. Same as like in religion, you have Christians and you have Protestants, and they kill each other. How stupid is that? They're both both Christians, you know.
Right.
What do you want? And I'm saying right now, India is in the greatest position of all. It's Russia, China versus America. And in the middle stands India.
Right. So if I were to summarize what is some of the key ingredients for a successful person in today's world is number one is, of course, improve your financial intelligence by being more financially literate. Number two is to surround yourself with people who are better than you and richer than you and who are capitalists.
And who are going the same direction as you.
Same direction as you. And the third thing is having a strong mindset as to knowing exactly what you want and what your mission statement is. Is there anything else apart from these three things?
You have to be willing to fail.
Right, that's important, yeah.
Most people you go to school, you learn not to fail.
Yeah.
How stupid is that? How does a baby learn how to walk when if they fall down and get punished?
Right.
It's really stupid. School is for stupid people.
Right.
It's okay you want to learn how to read, write, and do your math. You got to learn that.
Yeah.
You could be a lawyer, stay in school, be a doctor, stay in school. After that.
I mean, homeschooling is getting very popular these days, where parents are teaching their kids.
Are the teachers, are the parents billionaires?
Yeah, that's also there, yeah.
I hang out with people who are rich.
Right.
My rich dad was rich. My poor dad was poor. I went and sought my rich dad.
Right.
I choose my teachers. You guys are lazy. You think it's easy? You think what I do is easy?
It's not.
No. You think being a doctor is easy? No.
No, it's not.
Think Mr. Tata is easy? No.
Right.
They're smart, tough men.
So you keep talking about your friend Donald Trump a lot, and he is someone who has had like mixed opinions throughout the world, right? So I just want to understand from you, how would you evaluate his performance as a president of the United States?
The best we've ever had.
Yeah.
Just not what he says, look at what he does.
Okay.
First thing Biden did was take down the Keystone XL pipeline. First initial, January 2020. He took down the pipeline. He cut off oil from Canada flowing to America. And I'm saying, when Trump was president, I was selling oil for $30 a barrel. My oil came from Oklahoma, Texas, North Dakota. Why do you do this?
It's just me.
That's what I do.
Agreeing.
So my oil was coming from America. So when Biden cut off the pipeline from Canada to America, oil went from $30 a barrel to $130 a barrel.
Yeah.
I made fortunes. Unfortunately, Biden screwed America. He made the poor and middle class poor. Americans can't afford to put gas in their car. They can't put food. Oil runs everything. You know, Tata has oil. I know that.
But you made a fortune, right? So you're still unhappy with it?
I do. When Biden cut off my pipeline, well, not my pipeline, Canada's pipeline, I got richer.
So have you done any business deals in India?
No,
You planning to?
it's too hard here.
Why do you think it's hard?
I come here to teach. I gotta say, Indians are very smart. The bricks are in line right now. People are hungry to learn. Your problem is schools. Not just India. American schools are screwed up. America has poverty. We have slums spreading all across America. Do the school teachers do anything about that?
I don't think so.
And I'm trying to say to you guys, this is coming next. Our pensions are bankrupt. My generation, boomer generation, we put all of our money into Wall Street. Wall Street took it out. They're empty. You're going to see the biggest crash of the U.S. you've ever seen.
So you're saying the boomers of US, they don't have any money left because the pension is gone.
And now, more than that, is that they kept inflating it with fake money. So they printed all this money. The stock market went up, the bond market went up, real estate went up. Now it's coming down.
So you own nothing in the stock market? Zero.
I own my stocks.
Okay, your own.
I own the company.
Of course, yeah.
I don't trust Wall Street. I don't trust my bankers.
Right.
It's a different world. Cash flow quadrant, E, S, B, and I. All you guys are E's and S's. I'm a B and the I. If you want to know what the B and I, start with that book. Costs you 20 rupee, whatever it is. So I want to be a business owner. I want to be like Mr. Tata. Okay, then start.
So
I leave from here to go to Singapore. I hang out with Jim Rogers.
from here, you're going to Singapore.
Jim Rogers was Soros' partner.
Right.
Those are my friends. Who are your friends? But I couldn't talk to them unless I was like them.
Right.
Does that make sense? It's like I can't talk to a soccer player because I didn't play soccer. But I can talk to a rugby player because if we play rugby.
Interesting. So let's say that in the world of business, there are many business opportunities to be an entrepreneur.
There's more than ever before.
Yeah. So what are some emerging trends that you're observing right now, which can be the next big thing?
I'm in education.
Education.
I'm starting a whole nother business with education.
Can you tell a little bit about that?
Not really.
Okay.
I start businesses. I did it since I was a kid. You know, I told this story as a kid. I'm sitting there looking at this stuff. I said, what is this? And I go to school, and all the white kids are rich,
Right.
and the Asian kids are poor. I went, oh, now I better find out why. I use my brain to think. So today I own silver mines,
And
and I own gold mines, and I own
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin,
And you own real estate.
and I own real estate. I own businesses.
Yeah.
I'm a capitalist. This is my friend.
Yeah.
Who are your friends? I'm not saying I'm right or you're wrong. I'm saying this is what I wanted.
Right.
So I wanted to hang out with the rich kids. I had to get rich.
Right.
Or I could be angry at them.
But how do you get rich without hanging out with the rich kids? Because in the beginning, not everybody is allowed in that rich circle.
I study.
Study.
My God, my friend.
Right.
My God, don't you hear a word I'm saying?
Yeah.
I study constantly, but I don't go to school. You go to school to get a
Degree.
job.
A job. Yeah.
Poor man.
Yeah.
Go to school, become a doctor. Taxes.
I think that was very enlightening for our audience today.
I had to learn, first thing the number one skill of an entrepreneur is how to sell. So when I was a pilot. I flew for the U.S. Marine Corps in Vietnam.
Okay.
Okay, I was shot down 3 times. So I have guts.
Okay.
They killed a lot of my friends. But I came back, my rich dad says, you have to learn how to sell. I said, good, I'll learn how to sell. The second thing I had to learn was how to buy real estate for nothing. So I took real estate courses. I'm like 26, 27 years old. I'm taking real estate courses, learning how to buy real estate for nothing. So on this trip today with PI, they have Robert Allen. Robert Allen was one of the teachers on this tour. I took his course. There's good teachers out there. But if you hang out with stupid teachers, you can be stupid like them. Right. I don't have friends with master's degrees. They're stupid. I hang friends with financial statements who are rich. So Robert Allen was teaching people how to buy real estate for nothing down. I took his course. So I buy stuff for nothing down now. Information's out there. You just have to search for it. But you have to want it. So I'll say it again. I go to Singapore. I'm going to have lunch with Jim Rogers. He's my guru, my teacher.
Okay.
You know, the Bank of England. I'm like, yeah, man. That's the kind of guy I want to hang out with. He was like 27 years old.
He was 27.
He was when he did it. He and Soros. So we do it legally, ethically, more. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to be somebody's boyfriend in jail, you know.
Yeah.
Do it. I have best attorneys, the best accountants. Okay? It's a game we play. I don't play golf because golf you got to be by yourself. I play team sports. So when I play rugby, I play with rugby players.
Of the business world.
It's a completely opposite mindset from its teachers. Teachers want to be the smartest person by themselves. I don't want to be the smartest person, but I want to have smart people around me, honest people. Okay. Choose your people around you carefully. Study. I'm listening to smart people do this. So I'll just close with this. The battle today is between Russia, China, and America. In between is India. The world's coming apart this way right now. We're going to go to war.
That's a very grim note to end with, but that's the
It always goes to war when the money dies. I flew for the U.S. Marine Corps in Vietnam twice. 2 years. I know what war is. I went to school for it. I see it coming.
So how are you preparing for it?
Gold, silver, and businesses. I don't want dollars. They're just going to print money to pay for the war. That's what the war in Ukraine's about right now. They're getting ready for war.
The traditional media, they'll never say these sort of things. They'll never...
Well, because they can't, and they shouldn't really.
Yeah.
I study constantly. I'm watching constantly.
So this is like the insider information.
Yeah. That's what ESBI stands for insider.
Yeah.
China is in serious trouble financially. They have to go to war. So they'll probably hit Taiwan.
You heard it here first.
No, but what's happened, Taiwan moved out of Taiwan. Got chips, the silicon chip. That's your world. I don't think what chips are.
Right.
So Taiwan, TSC, Taiwan Semiconductor, moved to Arizona, where I live. And so there's Silicon Valley, California, and there's Silicon Desert, Arizona. I moved 25 years ago to Arizona to be near Taiwan Semiconductor chips. Because when businesses come up, real estate comes up with it. So I've been waiting a long time for this war to start.
Interesting.
But when the economy gets really bad, the yuan's in trouble, the dollar's in trouble, that's when war comes out. They're going to print as much money to cause distraction. You know what I mean? So people get confused and all this. So they create a war, everybody forgets about everything. Happens throughout history.
Right.
U.S. Marine Corps pilot.
Yes, I heard that you won a medal as well for serving with
I
them.
went to military school.
Right. You've been around for a long time. All right. On that note, guys.
So let me just say, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. You guys are right in the middle. You're a great country, rich country, smart people. You put a lunar on space. The greatest thing I think Indians have got going for them is you're a gentle but strong people. You're you do this all the time. That's not a like this all the time.
Yeah.
But you got to get this turned to capitalism. Okay.
I guess that was very, very enlightening. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
a part of my podcast. I think I am going to watch this
Thanks,
several
guys.
times to kind of digest this fully. And thank you for watching till the end, guys. And let's see if we can bring another guest in the future who was this enlightening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.